The mainly Muslim Rohingya ethnic minority have been in the news for years. They are the world's largest stateless community and often described as the most persecuted minority. Myanmar denies them citizenship despite having lived in the country for centuries and forces them to live in apartheid-like condition. There was a strife between the Muslims and the Buddhists in the first half of last century that had continued even after Myanmar's independence in 1948. But matters worsened after a military coup led by Ne Win in 1962. Napier Tar describes the minority as Bengalis, to imply that they are illegal immigrants from neighboring Bangladesh. The latest exodus of more than 500,000 Rohingya has put the spotlight on the minority again. When Dhaka is trying to build up global pressure on Myanmar to take back its citizens, a Bangladeshi textbook for 8th graders has stirred controversy by apparently supporting Napier Tar's claim. A chapter in Sahitya Kanika, a textbook in Bangla by the National Curriculum and Textbook Board (NCTB), appears to claim that Muslims and Hindus living at Mongdor in Rakhine State are settlers there and that their country of origin is Bangladesh. The write-up, printed as a travel story, Mongdor Pathe on the Way to Mongdor, is a compilation of a para-parakan penned by award-winning literature by Pradesh Barua, who visited many places, spoke to locals and tasted their food. In a passage, he mentioned a girl running from a kitchen. She is a Bengali, wearing a lungi and a blouse. She was speaking in Chittagonian Chittagong's dialect. She is Jonna, hailing from Raujan Upatsila in Chittagong. The Upatsila is near my native village. Another girl was also cooking like her. On the fifth passage, he said rickshaw is known as Paikya in Myanmar. Most of the Paikya pullers are Muslims. Almost the entire trades in Mongdor are dominated by the Muslims and also by Hindus. They both Muslims and Hindus came from Chittagong after living there for quite a long while, he continued. But the exact time period was not mentioned in the story. The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Foreign Ministry has recently asked the ministry to talk to the Education Ministry to include content into the textbook mentioning the historical background and nationality of the Rohingya. The committee also suggested the concerned ministry to check the textbooks to see if they contained any controversial content. We have proposed the concerned ministries to add article on Rohingya nationalities because Myanmar has been arguing over the issue. Myanmar has always made claims against Bangladesh, even using their textbook, said Standing Committee member Lieutenant Colonel Mohammed Farooq Khan. Some Rohingya teachers, who are refugees in Cox's Bazar, showed us their textbook which mentioned the Rohingya as being of Bangladeshi origin and claiming that Chittagong was their native land, he said. As a result, the children are growing up with a sense that they are not Myanmar citizens and that they should be shifted to Bangladesh, he added. Arakan included the Chittagong region, but that was 500 years ago. That history should not be used after so long to brand them as Bangladeshis, said Farooq, also a Presidium member of Awami League. So we felt that our children should learn the actual Rohingya history through the textbook. Myanmar has long been claiming that Bangladesh is the ancestral homeland of the Rohingya, who migrated to Rakhine State, also known as Arakan. Stories on Rohingya Crisis 2017 by Pradesh Barua, the writer, said he traveled to Mongdor some 17 years ago. I wrote the story as I saw it during the tour. I authored exactly what I had seen and heard then. And the write-up is not a research-based one. Rather, it is a travel story, he told BBC Bangla recently. I did not count the number of Bangladeshis who had migrated there. I did not collect any estimate on them, he added. Dhaka University history professor Syed Anwar Hussain, when contacted, said it is true that many people had gone to Arakan from Chittagong and Cox's Bazar. But they left around 2 centuries ago. If the people who had come to the Chittagong hill tracts in the 16th century now enjoy Bangladeshi citizenship, why cannot the Rohingya be called Burmese nationals? He pointed out that Myanmar did not raise any question in 1962 when its military government accepted the Rohingya as citizens. They are now trying to make it an issue to kick them out of the country, he added. When his attention was drawn to Bhai Pradesh's story, the historian suggested that it be withdrawn since it may cause confusion in future. The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Foreign Ministry also suggested the board to remove any controversial content from the textbooks. We should incorporate accurate information in the textbook about Rakhine, said Farooq. It appears that the NCTB did not think over the story when it was published in 2012, the same year when apparent communal violence displaced thousands of Rohingya in the Rakhine state. A NCTB official, requesting anonymity, said they were looking into the matter. The higher authorities could rethink the story given the ongoing Rohingya crisis, he added. NCTB chairman Professor Narayan Chandrasekhar, attesting to the complexity in the story, told the Dhaka Tribune that Mongjorpov was not discussed in any meeting held over the textbook. Anybody linked to the textbook publication process did not notice it either, he added. The NCTB authorities select articles, poems or prose for textbooks as recommended by the textbook editorial panel comprising noted educationists. Without their suggestion we cannot change the text, he said. 11 educationists drafted and edited the book. One of them, Professor Syed Aziz-ul Haq, said travel stories do not always show concrete data. And, the write-up is actually a diary-based article. We picked the story to give the students an idea of Myanmar as a neighboring country. But NCTB can rethink the story if we find it necessary to keep it in the textbook next year, he said, adding that they were preparing to print textbooks for 2018. Bipro claimed that he had not been made aware that his story was selected for the textbook. Nobody contacted me over the issue while publishing the story, he said. As many as 536,000 Rohingya have fled to Bangladesh since August 25. Faced with mounting pressure from human rights bodies and international agencies, Myanmar on Tuesday said it would repatriate Rohingya from Bangladesh after verification in accordance with the 1992 joint statement, an agreement signed between Dhaka and Naypyidaw.